everyone, and welcome to Ask an Author. Today I'm so excited because we have the amazing Karen Tyrrell with us today. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Wonderful to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm wearing this wig in honour of all of the amazing work that you do to help teach kids about diversity and conservation through your books, and always looking glamorous in the process. So
thanks, Michelle. That's just wonderful. I wasn't expecting that, so it's really good. Thank you.
All about you today. I can't wait to find out more about you. And we've had some kids that have sent in some questions. I've got this book here. It's my very special book that I write down all of the questions that the kids have sent in. So we've got quite a few questions for you today. And
excellent.
The first one is from Hemi. And Hemi wants to know, when you were a kid, did you read very much?
Yes, I absolutely loved reading, especially from about 7 up. And I spent every spare moment reading. I read fantasy, adventure, and intriguing books. Books like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was one of my favourite. The Faraway Tree. And there was a story in the school magazine that really grabbed me, and it was called The It. And it was about a monster who lived in the sandpit. Wow. And the relationship between the monster and the children who went to talk to him, speak to him. And it actually inspired me to write a book called Joe Kin Battles the It. So there you go.
That's amazing. So that was inspired from all of that reading that you did as a kid.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I was one of those kids that used to hang out in the library and find out how many books I could borrow at the same time.
Me too. Josh has a question. Do you have a favourite sport?
Well, I have a few actually, if I could share them with you.
Yes, please.
Firstly, I love hiking through the rainforest. We have a rainforest about 40 minutes from where we live. It's called Mount Tambourine, and I have been there hundreds and hundreds of times. And it was the inspiration for my book, Songbird Rainforest Rescue. And this book is actually set in Mount Tambourine. So.
Wow, I love that you get inspiration from just everyday things around you.
Oh, thank you. Can I share a couple more of my sports?
Sure, yes, please.
I love the Great Barrier Reef, and we went snorkeling up there with alongside the turtles with my family.
Oh,
Many
wow.
times we went there when the children were very young. And that's why I wrote my books, Songbird Great Barrier Reef Rescue. And it's got a lot of my experiences in there as well, even though I put some extra fantasy and fun and science in there as well. And then the other thing, as a child, I loved tap dancing. I had tap dancing lessons. But I haven't written a book about that yet, but maybe one day.
I would love to read that. Awesome. Wow. So you balance all of this creative writing with doing sport as well. So you can absolutely do both. Yes,
that's right. Okay, because if I can't just sit in front of a computer 7 days a week writing. I love to get out in nature and do things, and I feel like it makes me happy. It gives me energy to write.
That's amazing. Now Max wants to know, can you sing?
Well, not so much now, but in primary school, I had a very high voice. I had a soprano voice, and I was the main soloist in the school choir for a few years. Wow. And singing in the choir gave me self-confidence because I was a little bit shy at school. And because of that background in the choir, I wrote a book called Songbird Superhero. And you can see that's Rosella Ava Bird there, and she gets her superpowers from singing. And that's how I felt as a child, because when I sang, it gave me more self-confidence. I was able to be the me I wanted to be, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes. And that's the lovely character that you're dressed up as today.
Yes, I'm Songbird Superhero, Rosella Ava Bird. That's me. That was the beginning. That's the beginning of this series.
The series.
So that was book 1.
Yes. Oh, wow. I loved singing in choir too. And we actually got to go and sing at Brisbane City Hall when I was in primary school. So you got to do lots of awesome things singing in the choir as well.
That's right.
Maddie has got a bit of a cheeky question here.
Mm-hmm.
What are you scared of?
Well, to be honest, I'm a bit scared to look under the bed at night. I don't know what's going to be under there, so I don't look under there. The other thing I'm really scared of is going to the dentist, and I put it off as long as possible. And I'm probably due to go back there soon, but I'll just put it off a couple more weeks. The other thing I am scared of, and I can't really control it, is when thunder cracks over the roof of your house. I just jump and scream, and so I am scared of thunder.
Thunder. Oh my goodness.
And when it's really, really loud.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean about the boogeyman under the bed. I can't actually sleep if there's any of my body hanging over the bed. Like all of my body has to be on the bed or I can't sleep. So I totally understand you being
scared. So you've got to be all enclosed in.
Yes, so nobody can yank me down and drag me into the bed. So we've got the same fear there. So don't be embarrassed about that. I know exactly what you mean. Grace has got a really good question here for you, and you've touched on this a little bit already, but where do you get your ideas from?
Well, all of my ideas are based on my own experiences. And then what I do to ramp it up, I add humour, I add science, fantasy, superheroes, of course, and fun to my stories. And then it makes it fun for the reader as well as for me that I'm writing, and I have fun while I'm writing.
Yeah, I think you can tell. I think you can really tell that you enjoy writing because the reader enjoys reading it as well. And you learn stuff by accident.
Yes, that's right, exactly.
Now, Hugo's got a question, and this is sometimes a bit hard to answer as an author because we have so many, but he wants to know, do you have a favourite book?
Well, I have 2 books that are current, and they're both absolutely unique and awesome. I don't know if you can see that. One's called ICIC by Robert Henderson, and it's one of the most unique books I've ever read, and it's an upside down book. So it's pretty incredible. So you can read it starting from the back or from the front. That's the picture book. And one of my favourite novels that I've just read, and it's absolutely awesome, it's called The Thing About Oliver by Deborah Kelly. And it's about a girl called Tilly who dreams of going to the Great Barrier Reef to become a marine biologist. But what is stopping her is her brother Oliver, who has autism. So there's a lot of positive messages in that book, and I just loved it, the way it was handled.
And you love the Great Barrier Reef as well.
And of course.
We're actually having Robert Henderson as a guest on one of our episodes, so I'll make sure that I tell him that you love his book. That's amazing. Did you always want to be an author when you grew up?
No. I wanted to only become an author probably maybe 10 years ago. When I was a child, what I wanted to be was a school teacher. And I was very driven to be a school teacher. At the age of 7, I took all the neighbourhood kids up to the park and gave them pencils and paper, and I taught them how to read and write. And I used to take them into my backyard and sit them in front of my easel too. So the teaching thing, so when I left school, I got a scholarship to Teachers College when I was giving scholarships away in those days. So I was a teacher for most of my life, and the author thing is relatively new.
Wow, that's amazing. So now that you are an author, What do you think is the most important thing about what you do?
The thing I love the most is visiting schools and performing Readers Theatre. My husband, Steve, and I, Steve is a co-writer and we write together, and he didn't want his name on my books, but we have been writing together for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that was his choice. But we perform in schools and we have so much fun. We act out our stories in costume. We make kids laugh and sing, and it's just, we just absolutely love it to bits. And I think we'll be doing it till we're 90. We just have so much fun.
And it's so great that you've got somebody to do it with like that and share the joy. That's the coolest thing ever, and kids love it.
Just a little secret.
Yes.
When I met my husband when I was 19, he said to me, I was a teacher, I was at Teachers College then. He said, I'm going to be an author one day. So he was very driven to be an author.
Really?
But he went into, you know, business and all sorts of things, Telstra, and he's only, the writing thing has only happened together, probably, 10 years ago.
Wow. But he's always wanted to do that, and he's living
always
his
wanted
dream.
to, and he's wanted to write fantasy. So yeah, and science fiction.
Yeah. Oh, that's so amazing. It's so great. You are both such an inspiration that you're really doing exactly what you were set on this earth to do. Do you believe that books can change the world?
Books can change the world? Was that the question you asked, Michelle?
Sorry, yes.
I think they can, because they can change people's thinking. And there's so many books out at the moment about caring for the environment, being kind. Those books can definitely change the world.
I agree. And I think your books go a long way to doing that as well. You've got some beautiful messages in your books.
Thank you, Michelle.
The last question is, what is your advice for kids who want to be an author?
Well, this is what I do, and something that children can do too, because it's so easy. Just take a notebook and a pen everywhere you go and jot down ideas for a story, ideas for a character. Think about that idea, dream about it, daydream about it, and ask yourself, what if? What if? And expand these ideas to make a story. And it works. I do this all the time when I create my stories.
Wow, that seems so simple, but it's so effective.
Yes, anyone can do it, and I think most authors do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you've answered some amazing questions today, but I'm sure that there's kids out there who have a lot more questions that they would love you to answer. If they'd like to get in contact with you, what's the best way that they can do that?
Well, probably the best way, and if I could just slide over here, I think I just might have a little sign. There's my name there, Karen Tyrrell. If they go to my put a bit higher. If they go to karentyrrell.com, my website, they can find me there and leave a message on the contact page. The other thing they can do is they can go to my YouTube and they can watch some videos, and it's just Karen Tyrrell with an author on the end of it, and they'll find me on YouTube. So that's probably 2 fun ways to find me. And I always answer any questions, any emails.
That's amazing. And what we'll do is we'll put links to both of those in the description. So if you'd like to contact Karen, have a look in the description and we'll have the website and a link to her YouTube videos. Thank you so much, Karen, for being
My pleasure.
So today. It's been so great. And thanks again for everything that you do and being on Ask an Author. Bye.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.